Raise your hand if you think math is red. Raise your hand if you think it's blue. Okay, some good answers, red. Some bad ones, blue. For a long time, I thought that math was universally understood to be red. It was obvious to me. Math is infuriating, and there is no closer color to fury than red. But when I posed this question at school, I discovered that not only did many people disagree, but also the chaos, confusion, and problems a single question can create. We were having lunch, and I was just trying to make conversation, so I threw it out there. Is math red or blue? After a moment, everyone sitting on the wooden bench in front of the gym came back with their answer. It was about an even split. The red side said it was a harder subject and a high point of tension, so naturally it would be red. Apparently, it was blue because blue was a colder, calmer color, which in turn caused it to be a lot more professional and showed less expression. Just like how math is supposed to be. Eventually, the argument devolved into math is red. No, you're so stupid. How's it red? How's it blue, you idiot? We were going nowhere, so we started harassing innocent bystanders. One poor blonde kid was just walking by and got dragged in. Blue? He said. He ran off as the red side stared at him like he just canceled Christmas. The question spread, infecting the school. The vice principal said that math was blue. But when Mr. Collin walked by, we boxed him in by the announcement board and demanded to know his answer. It's red, he said, and snuck away, trying to avoid the hard glares of the blue side. Finally, we decided to break the stalemate. We had math after lunch, so when the bell finally rang, we stampeded into the math class. Mr. Fitzwald, the math teacher, was just sitting at his computer, minding his own business, probably hoping to mark some tests, when we barged in like a hysterical mob of goblins, rambling and shrieking about the color of math. Is math red or blue? He looked up at all of us. He put his coffee down carefully and took a moment to collect himself. We held our breath. What? Math is obviously green. Green? How could it be green? The options were red or blue. What kind of monster goes for green? It couldn't be. Could it? After school, on my way home, I kept wondering and asking myself, could it really be green? I mean, it was ridiculous, but he was a math teacher. Could he be right? I needed answers. I threw it into a group chat with a couple of friends from outside of school, but now that Mr. Fitzwald had planted the seeds of doubt in my mind, I couldn't just ask, is math red or blue? Instead, I asked, what color is math? I saw the dots appearing at the bottom of the screen almost instantly. People were starting to respond. The first message popped up. Purple, I guess? I don't really know. Another. I always had a yellow do a tank for my math homework, so yellow? A third message. Math is so gross. How does it even deserve a color? If I had to, I'd choose a very disgusting color. Like barf green. As the messages flooded in, although some people still picked red and blue, we ended up with a whole array of pigments coming in. But why? When I'd asked at school, everyone had picked red or blue, but when I asked online, I got colors that looked like they would belong in a bag of Skittles. Eventually, I realized that the main reason for these vastly different answers was the question itself. When I only gave people two options, I pressured them into picking one of those options and stopped them from picking their own. I realized that the way we worded a question was very important, and ever since, I've tried my best to ask more liberating questions. I stopped asking these closed-ended questions by asking what, how, and why instead of which or is. Instead of presenting options, presenting opportunities. Just a few days ago, I was in an online practice debate. We were going to argue against hospitalizing homeless people who had mental illnesses. During our prep voice call, I was stuck between two arguments, but both of them had flaws. The first argument is that it would be morally wrong to hospitalize homeless people and that people shouldn't be imprisoned. But it doesn't have any practical, real-world implications, and it would be hard to win the round. Another argument I was thinking about is how it would be cheaper and more effective to just give homeless people housing, as one of the biggest factors to a homeless person's stress is not being able to have shelter. But what if our opponents argue that it would cost more money? How would we respond to that? Finally, I decided that I couldn't take it anymore. I called out into the empty voice chat abyss. I was almost about to ask which argument I should use, but remembering what I learned about asking questions, I decided to reword my question. Okay, I'm done brainstorming ideas, but I want to hear what you think about this, I asked my partner, Joyce. Instantly, she jumped in and said, "Oh, yeah, I thought about a couple of things. The first was that there's going to be worse mental health for homeless people overall, either being stressed about evading the government or by being affected by homeless people who don't want to be hospitalized." And another argument I was thinking about is how homeless people are going to avoid government services as they don't want to lose their freedom. Those 2 points would be round winners. They could be applied to the real world, and they couldn't be said to be more costly. After I presented my thoughts, we decided to go with Joyce's points, as both of us were more passionate about them. When the debate started, back and forths were exchanged. We found it much clearer and easier to actually support our arguments because we enjoyed talking about them. The debate eventually ended, and we waited for the judges to make their decision. When they finally broke the silence, we won. If I had asked a closed-ended question, I would have set us up for failure. Instead, an open-ended question led to a winning argument. If I had just pressured people into picking red or blue, I wouldn't have heard their actual opinion. If Mr. Fitzwald didn't say green, I would have been stuck in an old perspective. I wouldn't be aware of the unlimited perspectives and possibilities on the topic. Life is full of infinite perspectives and possibilities, and you are able to explore them just by rephrasing a single question. The way we ask a question is just as important as if we asked it at all. I'd encourage everyone here to start asking what, how, and why questions so that the people answering them can share who they are and how they think. Ask them at work, to your family, friends, or even strangers. Don't restrict your audiences. Give them room to expand, and in turn, expand your thoughts too. So, all I have left is to ask this: what color is math to you?